joined here today by the one and only Tanner Boser, who's joining us with his luxurious beard, of course, set to fight Philipe Lins at UFC Apex. Thanks so much for joining me, man. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well, man. How about you?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you for asking. What's your situation like currently? Are you under lockdown like a lot of people? Or are you allowed some more freedom? What's it looking like right now?
In Alberta, yeah, we're under a lockdown, sort of. We can go uptown and get groceries. There's a lot of activities that they're allowing people to do now. They reopened parks, for instance, but yeah, gyms still aren't open until I don't know. They're projecting hopefully sometime in June.
And so, how are things looking for you right now, training-wise? You mentioned the gyms are closed. Are you one of those fighters where there's a secret handshake, a secret code to get into the gym, or are you doing stuff out of your garage?
Well, I don't have a garage. I rent a condo because I'm
Oh.
broke, but I have a pair of 4-pound dumbbells, a medicine ball, and a skipping rope, and I do what I can, man.
So it's gonna be like a Rocky movie. We're gonna see you out and pulling the trees and lumber and all that stuff, getting into that fight shape, the old-fashioned style.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's what I'm going to be doing, chin ups on soccer posts in the park and shit like that.
That's right, kicking it back old school. Did that
Yeah.
make you hesitate at all for accepting a fight? Because I know some fighters mentally, the training is so important. Did you hesitate, or is it just I'm just trying to get back out there?
I know how to fight. I've been fighting for years. As long as I'm in shape, and I'm still in shape, I can fight no problem. I don't give a shit.
That makes sense. What's the situation like in quarantine? We see the luxurious beard. I feel like it's a little bit longer than usual. The hair looks like it's long as well. How's that situation going for you?
Well, the barbershops just opened back up a week ago or something, so I'm getting my hair cut on Monday, so it should be a little more trimmed. Uh, I like my beard this long. My hair needs a cut for sure, though, man. It's long, gets in my eyes a little, which I hate, but I'll definitely trim the beard still because I worry that someone, if they were trying to be greasy, might hold on to it for a guillotine and the ref not be able to see it or something like that.
Well, that's an interesting point you bring up with the guillotine. Has that ever happened to you before? Because when you say it like that, that doesn't sound like an isolated incident.
Oh no, one of my training partners did shit like that all the time. Me and my buddy Miles Anstead, who was one of the top Canadians at middleweight for a while, he would have no problem holding my beard in a guillotine or fish hooking me to escape
Oh
a
yeah,
neck crank or anything like that. So, so
yeah.
yeah, you learn to think about stuff like that.
So is he one of those guys that checks the oil as well, or are we lucky and it's just hopefully a different finger with the fish
It,
hooking and all that stuff?
yeah, if he checked my oil, I'd elbow him in the face. So,
Yeah.
yeah, haven't gotten that far.
All right, for sure, man. So listen, you're set to fight Philipe Lins, who was, I believe, the tournament winner back in PFL, fought recently against Arlovski. What are your thoughts on your opponent, man, heading into this one?
Yeah, Felipe Lins is really good. He's good all around. I know he's a jiu-jitsu black belt, but he likes to stand. His striking's good. He's got a good jab. He's got a good leg kick. And he does have power in his punches. He's an all-around guy, and he's a guy who knows how to win. Like you said, he won PFL in 2018, and he had to win 2 fights in one night at one point there. So yeah, I'm expecting a tough fight, but everybody's a tough fight, and I think I
Yeah.
match up just fine against him.
So did that impress you at all, the PFL runs? I know he came in with a lot of hype, but as a fighter yourself, I'm sure you're able to kind of separate the media hype and take a look with your own eyes.
So I don't really follow the media a ton. I don't really care for a lot of the takes by a lot of the guys. There's a couple journalists I don't mind reading, but most of them I just look at everybody as just a bunch of fucking dorks trying to make headlines and just quantify the abilities of actual savages. And guys don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Felipe Lins is good. I didn't realize he came in with a lot of hype. Um, it doesn't matter to me if he has hype or not. Again, I know he's a good fighter, and he's ranked higher than me, so that will boost me in the rankings. Uh, but I think that I match up well against the guy.
For sure. I've yet to hear a fighter that doesn't like the matchup heading into this one, but what does this do for you in your career if you beat him? I assume this puts you in a very good position, going forward.
Yeah, I mean, in UFC, I don't know. I don't know how much it'll boost me in UFC's rankings. I'm still like a ways away from anything significant ranking wise to UFC, but he's like 30 or 32 or something like that on Fight Matrix. So if I beat him, at least on Fight Matrix, I'd probably be ranked like top 30 in the world, probably on Tapology too. whereas right now on Tapology I sit around 50, and on Fight Matrix probably like 70. So that'd be pretty cool.
And so when you got to the UFC, obviously you've been around this game for a very long time. Did you notice a boost like on your social media with the fans, or even maybe more people shit talking you than usual? Did you notice a boost at all?
Yes, to both, but the boost on social media came from getting verified. When UFC got me the check marks, and I just start getting all these random followers, which is
Oh
super
yeah.
strange because I post the exact same stuff, and maybe the algorithm like suggests you to more people or something. I don't know. There's a lot, and more shit talk. Yes, like you attract a little more of it, more like idiots in your DMs sometimes after fights, but
Right.
uh, there's idiots everywhere.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Was it a beautiful sight for you seeing the blue check? I know there's some people, they see it come in, it's like this beautiful thing next to your name. It makes me feel important. Or are you one of those guys where it's like, yeah, all right, it's there?
I don't care, man.
Yeah, I didn't think so. That would have surprised me.
Yeah, no.
All right, so let's talk about your last fight a little bit. It was against a Frenchman, Gane. Of course, you know that you were there. What do you take away from that fight? I assume it was a big learning experience for yourself?
Nope, I don't think so. I lost the fight fair and square. Gon is really good. He got the momentum kind of swung in his favor. I think in round two, I think he won round one as well, but round one was really close. And then in two, he connected on a couple big shots, and then it just kind of snowballed. I was trying to play catch up. I wasn't able to establish what I needed to establish early enough. And he implemented his game plan. And then by three, he beat me up in three, landed some like real hard shots and stuff in three. So three looked good for him. I mean, I lost handily. I was never rocked. I was never really hurt. But yeah, man, I couldn't establish a ton of offense. I got nothing but good things to say about Gon. He was very skilled, and he's a classy guy. But no, I mean, I'm ready for the next fight, whoever it is. I honestly can't think of anything I took from that fight per se.
And so it's interesting you say that because fighters, they always mention they learn more from a loss than a win. In your experience, is that different? Like, can you take away a lot of things from a win more than, for example, this last loss, which you mentioned, there's not a whole lot to take away from it?
It depends on the fight. I mean, it depends on how the fight goes. If you go in and you beat somebody in a way you knew you could, then maybe you don't take much away from that either. I mean, so I think you learn for sure from every fight,
Right.
but I don't like. People like to say that they learn more from a loss than a win, just that they can have some sort of silver lining after they lose. You know what I mean? People just
Yeah.
want that. They just want that little glimmer of hope or some shit after a loss to be like, well, I learned a lot. Well, maybe you just got your ass kicked, Yeah, you can learn, but you can also learn you're winning. There's a reason. Not everybody has to lose to learn. So
Yeah.
I think some people definitely do. And there are losses I've had where I definitely felt I learned something I needed to do different after. But I think a lot of the time people say that just so that they make themselves feel less bad after a loss.
All right, it's a very interesting take. I've never heard that before, but it does make a lot of sense because there's not a lot of guys that have the sort of the refreshing, just it is what it is. Speaking of which, is that something you've had your entire career, or is that something that you've developed over time as a veteran of all these fights?
What's that?
That mentality of like, oh, there's not necessarily a silver lining to losing and stuff. Just continue to move forward and not like dwell on the past.
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you. I don't know if I started off that way or developed it. I haven't been. Guess I'm not that self-actualized, dude. I don't have a clue.
Well, at least you have it now. That's all that matters. Listen, coming back to Lins, he fought Andre Arlovski. It was, I believe, not that long ago. Have you watched that fight, and is there anything that you can kind of take away from that one without getting too specific? Because I know guys, they don't want to get too specific when it comes to, opponents' past fights.
Yeah, I watched the fight live. I got to rewatch it still, but I remember it quite well. The main thing I took away from that is if Lins would have won, I would have been up like $400 on a parlay. So fuck him for that.
So yeah, extra beef heading into this one just for that alone.
Nah, no, I'm just kidding. I'm not just kidding. I mean, it would have been $400, but yeah, it's no big deal. There's of course stuff I can take away from that fight. There's stuff I saw in that fight, but I'm not gonna discuss it.
Of course, I know fighters, they don't like to get too into detail for that. One thing I'm curious about, which you mentioned your sort of unique gym situation. What's communication like currently with your coaches? Do you guys talk every day? Do you still come up with your game plan? What's that kind of like with your coaches?
Yeah, they've watched his fights. We have a game plan. We have an idea of what we're gonna do, and hopefully we can get back to full training, in a week or two or something.
All right, and that leads me to my last question. Kind of an easy one I'm sure you've thought about a million times, or maybe not at all. But how do you see this fight playing out come once it comes time to fight him?
I'm gonna predict that I'll win a decision. I think he's pretty tough. He's only actually he's been knocked out 3 times, but he got knocked out at 205 more. Maybe the weight cut had some. I think all of the knockout losses actually might have been at 205. His only loss at heavyweight, I think, is Arlovski by decision. I think maybe his chin's better at heavyweight. Yeah, but I think I got the stuff to figure him out and make him dance my dance. So, um, I'm gonna win a decision.
All right, well, we look forward to it. It's going to be a great fight. Thanks so much for the time, man. I really appreciate it, and hopefully you can get back to normal life and train the way you'd like to.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate the interview.